Okay, guys, let's get started without any further ado. So I think a couple of you were there in the last session as well, where we took up the demo on what certified ethical hacking course is about and what topics we'll be covering throughout the sessions. I think Bhanu, you joined a bit late yesterday, right? You joined at the end of the session, I suppose. Suraj, you didn't join yesterday. You are new to the session, right?
Yeah, I'm new to the session today when
Right.
I joined.
No worries, Suraj. Again, these sessions are being recorded and they're being uploaded on YouTube on the official channel of DurgaSoft itself. So again, just in case if you have missed out the session, no worries. You can always refer to that recording. So we did take up a demo yesterday explaining what the course is about, what topics we'll be covering, and what is the course curriculum and all that. And today we are going into the first topic, which is networking fundamentals, a very important prerequisite for cybersecurity. Just give me 1 second, guys. Right. So let's get started without any further ado. As mentioned, today we'll talk about networking. And whenever we discuss networking, there are three important definitions to go through. What is networking? What are networks? And what are hosts? So when you talk about networking, this is the practice of connecting information devices with each other. Why do we do that? So that you can share resources, you can share information with each other, share the data, and again communicate. Okay. Now, when you talk about networks, those are basically a collection of these interconnected devices. So again, each of these devices individually is called as a host. Okay. And again, examples of host are your computers, your laptops, your printers, your smartwatches, your smartphones, your routers, your IP cameras, your smart speakers, Alexa speakers, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so all of these devices interconnected with each other forms a network, and each of these individual devices is called as a host. Again, all of these devices communicate with each other to transmit data and have again proper to and fro of motion of data and communications. Okay. Now, just like how we humans communicate with each other, we have our names to identify each of us. Okay. You can call me by my respective name. I call you all by your respective names, right? And similarly, these devices also need names for communications, right? And that name is called as an IP address. So these devices do not have alphabetical names, I would say. They have much more of a numerical address, a numerical name, which is called as an IP address, Internet Protocol address. Okay. And this Internet Protocol address was invented by the US military in the late 1950s or so. Okay. To define an IP address, this is basically a unique identifier for each and every device or host on the network. Okay. And these unique identifiers allow devices to communicate with each other. Okay. And again, there were multiple versions of this. There was IP version 1, IP version 2, IP version 3, etc., etc. Some of them were experimental. What successfully worked out was IPv4, Internet Protocol version 4. And we're still using IPv4 even in today's world. Okay, oh, 1 second. I think someone else is trying to join the meeting. Once again, guys, I think I need to share the link with a couple students. Just give me 1 minute. I'll quickly share the link and continue back. Yeah, done. So again, coming back to the properties now, as mentioned, this IPv4 address has a few important properties to it, or I would say characteristics to it. And let me list them out here. Okay. So first things first, your IPv4 address is a 32-bit address. Now, when you talk about bits, a bit is the smallest data structure or a data value that a computer can hold. It can either comprise of the value 0 or the value 1. Okay. And your IPv4 address consists of 32 zeros and ones consecutively. Okay. And these entire 32 bits of addresses, I would say, are not, again, a single value. They are divided in 4 equal parts of 8 bits each. And each of that 8-bit portion is called as an octet. Okay. And that 8-bit portion or that octet is separated by a dot symbol. Okay. So this is what your IPv4 for address would look like in the language of zeros and ones. This is also commonly known as the binary language. Binary in the sense 2 characters, 0 or 1. And this binary number can actually be converted to a human readable number in decimal values. So this number 11000000 is actually equal to 192 in human readable language. This number 10101000 is actually equal to 168. This number all zeros is equal to 0. And this number 00001010 is actually equal to 10. Okay. So now we'll be learning how do you convert any computer readable language or any binary address language into a human readable or decimal language numbers. Okay. So let's get into the conversion, and I'm also going to explain why this conversion is important. Okay. So any questions or doubts up to this point? Anyone? Bhanu, Suraj, Venkat, Venkatesh. Okay, right. Moving forward. Oh, Venkat, any questions? Suraj, any questions? No. Right. Moving forward. So let's talk about the conversion. So what we'll do is we'll take an example here. So let's take the number 10101010. Okay, and let's say we want to convert this binary number to a decimal number. Okay, so for that, there are two simple rules. Rule number one, you write down the values of 2 power from right to left under each bit. So the rightmost bit will have 2 power 0 under it. Then you have 2 power 1, then 2 power 2, then 2 power 3, then 2 power 4, then 2 power 5, then 2 power 6, then 2 power 7. Like that, from right to left under each bit over here, you write the values from 2 power 0 up to 2 power 7. Okay. Once those values are written, then you multiply the lower value with the top bit and keep on adding it till the end. So 2 power 0 into 0 plus 2 power 1 into 1 plus 2 power 2 into 0 plus 2 power 3 into 1 plus 2 power 4 into 0 plus 2 power 5 into 1 plus 2 power 6 into 0 plus 2 power 7 into 1. Okay. So you multiply the lower value with the top bit and keep on adding it to the end. Okay. So now to multiply, we need to know the answers for these values. Anything to the power 0 is always equal to 1. That's a mathematical rule. So 2 power 0 is also 1. 2 power 1 is 2 itself. 2 power 2 is 2 into 2. That's 4. 2 power 3 is 2 into 2 into 2, 3 times. That's 8. 2 power 4 is 16. 2 power 5 is 32. 2 power 6 is 64. And similarly, 2 power 7 is 128. Now, since we have these values, the calculation gets easier. 2 power 0 into 0, that's simply 0. Plus 2 power 1 into 1, that's 2. 2 power 1 is 2 into 1, that's 2. 2 power 2 into 0, 0 again. 2 power 3 into 1, 8. 2 power 4 into 0, 0 again. 2 power 5 into 1, 32. 2 power 6 into 0, 0 again. And 2 power 7 into 1, 128. So if you add all this up now, 128 plus 32, that's 160. 160 plus 8, 168. 168 plus 2, 170. So when we humans read the number 170 as 170, the computer reads it as 10101010. Okay. It's something like high frequency, low frequency, high, low, high, low, high. Okay. So when that exact sequence of frequencies flows through a computer, it understands it as the number 170. Okay. Is that clear, everyone? Bhanu, Suraj, Venkat. Hi Rama, hi Venkatesh. I hope you can hear me as well.
Yes.
Perfect. Any questions up to this point, guys? Suraj, any questions? Bhanu, any questions?
Clear.
Perfect. Now, if this is clear for everyone, guys, I have two other numbers over here. 01010101 and all ones. So if you have a pen and a paper beside you, I would want you to convert these numbers and give me the answers for them. 01010101 and all ones. And I've written down the values of 2 power 0 up to 2 power 7 on the screen. So take your time, no rush. If you have a pen and a paper beside you, calculate and give me the answers for these guys. Take your time.
$85.
For the first one, it is 53, I believe. And for the second one, it is 254.
Come again, Venkat, your voice was not clear. Second one was 254 and the first one?
53.
First one, 3. Are you sure?
53, 53, 53.
53. Okay. Try recalculating once, Venkat.
Okay.
There's some slight error somewhere in both the answers. The second one is very close, actually. You're very close.
250. Second one is 255.
Yeah, second one is 255. Correct.
First one is
First
80,
one is
85.
85. Yeah.
85. Okay, let's check that. So as mentioned, same logic, guys. 2 power 0 into 1. So 2 power 0 is 1. So 1 into 1, that's 1. 2 power 1 into 0, 0. 2 power 2 into 1, that's 4. 2 power 3 into 0, 0. 2 power 4 into 1, that's 16. 2 power 5 into 0, 0. 2 power 6 into 1, 64. 2 power 7 into 0, 0. Okay. So 64 plus 16, that's 80. 80 plus 4, 84. 84 plus 1, 85. Correct answer. Okay. So maybe some minor miscalculation here or there, Venkat. But I hope you got the logic though. Again, if you've got that, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I hope you can figure out where the error came up. Okay. And the second answer is 255, guys, as mentioned. Okay. So you just have all ones everywhere. So you add everything up. 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. So I think you took this as 0. 2 power 0 is 1.
Yeah,
So
correct.
1 into 1, that's 1. Okay. So this is not 0. This is 1. Okay. So then you get 255. Okay. Now, the reason I've been explaining all this, guys, is because you won't do this anywhere in real time, but this allows you to understand the range of IP addresses. So if I had to get the first IP, all I have to do is put simply zeros everywhere. And when I put zeros everywhere, the first IP is simply 0.0.0.0. And if I had to get the last IP, any possibility, guys, you just put all ones everywhere. Okay. And when you put all ones everywhere, you get 255.255.255.255. Okay. So from this logic, you can understand that no IP address will ever cross the number 255 in any octet. So no matter what IPv4 address you take, any octet will only range from 0 to 255. You'll never have any negative numbers or you won't have any positive numbers above 255. Okay. And if you had to calculate how many IPs you have in total, each bit has two possibilities, guys, either 0 or 1. And there are 32 bits in total. So 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So 2 raised to the power of 32. That would be 4.3 billion IP addresses in total. Okay. So back then in 1950s or so, when these were invented, 4.3 billion IPs was a very large number. Because back then you had no smartphones. Not many people had access to internet. Okay. But fast forward to 2024, the population itself is crossing 8 billion people. Okay, it has already crossed it. So, and again, each person can have multiple devices. So 4.3 billion IPs individually assigned to each unique device would not have sufficed. Okay, so that's why there's something called natting. Natting is where These 4.3 billion IPs are again divided in various categories. Don't worry about the sequence. I'll come to this in a minute. Okay. But the entire 4.3 billion IPs are divided in 5 separate categories called classes. Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, and Class E. And again, each of those categories is subcategorized into 2 parts, public and private IPs. So Class A has public and private. Class B has public and private. Class C also has public and private. Class D and Class E have only public IPs. There are no private IPs in them. Okay. So in the upcoming sessions, we'll learn what these public IPs are, what these private IPs are, what these classes are as well in the next session and tomorrow's class. Okay. Today, we'll talk about the sequence of IPs. Okay. So we know what the first IP is. We know what the last IP is. What about the sequence of IPs? How do the IPs progress or I would say change one after the other? Okay, so let's learn that. So to understand the sequence of IPs, let me just use a simple notepad file. Okay, so there are 2 simple rules, guys, to understand the sequence. Rule number 1, you always start with the rightmost octet. So you increment from the rightmost octet always. Okay, what I mean by that is if you have the first IP as 0000, next IP would be 0001. So the rightmost octet increases by 1. Okay, then you have 0002, then 03, then 04, then 05, then 06, 7, 8, 9, 10, goes on all the way up to 255. Now, please note, after 255, you cannot have a number like 0000256. This is not possible. Okay. So once you reach the maximum number 255, then comes rule number 2. Once the rightmost octet reaches the maximum value, then you move to the left octet. So the rightmost octet changes back to 0 again. And now the left octet, this one, the one left to it, increases by 1. Okay. So after 0255, you have 10. Now after 10, don't directly jump to 20. That would be wrong again. Remember rule number 1, always increment from the rightmost octet. So after 10, you have 11, then 12, then 13, then 14, then 15, then 16, 17, 18, 19, 110, 111, goes up to 1255. Then you have 20. Okay, so this 255 cycles back to 0, and this 1 changes to 2 now. Okay, so you can see there's a pattern here: 00 to 0255, 10 to 1255, 20 to 2255, 30 to 3255, 40 to 4255, 50 to 5255. Like that, the pattern keeps on repeating. And somewhere down the line, you would have 2540 to 254255 and 2550 to 255 Both these octets are full. So what happens next? They cycle back to zeros. And this 0 now changes to 1. And you have the same sequence again: 00 to 0255, 10 to 1255, 20 to 2255. Same exact sequence like you had it over here. Okay, and that goes on up to 12550 to 1255255, and then you have 200. That goes up to 2255255. Then you have 300. That goes up to 325525. Then you have 400. Like that, this all goes up to 25500, which goes on up to 255, 255, 255. Once all these 3 octets are full, then this last 0 changes to 1. Okay, and these 255s cycle back to zeros. And you have the first IP again. So whatever cycle repeated from 0000 to 0255, 255, 255, same cycle repeats again from 1000 to 1255, 255, 255. Then from 2000 to 2255, 255, 255, 3000 to 3255, 255, 255, 4000 to 4255, 255, 255. Then similarly like that, 255000 to 255, 255, 255, 255. If you keep counting each and every single IP, the total number of IPs you would get is around 4.3 billion IP addresses in total. Is that clear, guys? Have you understood the sequence, everyone? Venkat, Bhanu,
Yeah, clear.
Suraj, Venkatesh.
Yeah, clear, sir.
Perfect. Okay. Elevarasan K. Hi, can you hear me? I think I've joined a bit late. Alvarez. But no worries, again, as mentioned, guys, if anyone has joined late a bit today, all these sessions are being recorded. Okay, and all of these recordings are being uploaded on YouTube on the official channel of DurgaSoft. So you can access these recordings from there as well. Okay. So again, a quick recap on what we have learned today, guys. So we have learned what IP addresses are basically. So what is networking, what are networks, what are hosts, and how these devices communicate with each other. So they use something called IPv4 addresses. We talked about the properties of IPv4 addresses and the range of IPv4 addresses by converting binary numbers to decimal numbers. Okay, so from that we got the first IP, we got the last IP, and then we got the number of IPs in total and the sequence of IPs. Okay, and this entire sequence of IPs is divided in 5 classes: class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. And each of these classes again is divided in or subcategorized in public and private IPs. So in tomorrow's session, we will be learning what public IPs are, what private IPs are, and what are these classes. So again, what is the range of each class? Again, all the 5 classes are explained in detail of each of these ranges. I'll explain how these ranges are formed. Okay. And what are the ranges for public and private IPs in each class? And what's the relevance of each class? How are they different from one another? Okay. What is class C? What is class B? What is class A? What is class D and what is class E? We'll talk about all this in the next session. Again, very important for cybersecurity, guys. Okay. So unless and until you know what an IP address is and how devices communicate with each other, you wouldn't know how all of these devices are transmitting data. Okay, or how does an attack occur in real time. So these IP addresses and their configurations are very important for cybersecurity. And therefore, we have included this prerequisite in the cybersecurity course itself. Okay, so you don't need to learn any other course specifically to join cybersecurity. Everything important to it is included in the course itself. Okay, yeah. Any questions, guys, up to this point?
No.
Right. So yeah, that I would say is a conclusion on the demo today, guys. A brief and a short demo. Again, taking shorter sessions since these are just demo classes. I don't want to overload you with too much content already. Okay, as we progress, the classes will get slightly more complex and they'll get lengthier as well. Okay. Tomorrow we'll take a much more lengthier session where we talk about public and private IPs, and we also talk about the classes. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
Suhab,
we have, oh yeah,
I have few questions.
sure. Go ahead, Suraj.
In cybersecurity, which module you are covering? I don't knowledge in cybersecurity, and how many days it will take to complete the course,
No
and
worries.
how
Just to
much
clarify.
experience if I take the cybersecurity course?
To clarify your question, this is the browser available here for the course content of cybersecurity. So we are learning a course called Certified Ethical Hacking. The main agenda of this is to learn pen testing on all endpoints. So we talk about network security, we talk about system security, we talk about web application security, we talk about mobile security, we talk about wireless security. So all of these endpoints are covered in one single course itself. Okay. And before we dive into all that, there's a few prerequisites: networking basics, Linux commands. So we'll cover that also. Okay. And the entire duration of the course is for 35 days, where we have classes for 1 hour every day from Monday to Friday. Okay. And again, once this course is done, you can apply for job roles such as ethical hacker, penetration tester, whether it be network penetration tester or web application penetration tester. You can apply for security analyst job roles as well, up to an experience of 1 or 2 years, I would say, not more than that, because after 2 years, you definitely have a requirement to do some advanced courses. Okay? So you can apply for job roles up to 1 to 2 years of experience, guys. Okay. So
And I have another doubt. Is there any prerequisite for any coding is required coding knowledge like
no
Java?
programming language knowledge is required for this. The only prerequisites are networking fundamentals and Linux commands, which is included in the course itself. Okay. So other than that, you have no requirement for anything else. Is that clear, Suraj?
Yeah.
Shoaib, it is for SOC analyst also, right?
For SOC analyst as well, yeah, you will definitely be applicable to apply for those jobs after this course is done. 1 second, guys. Someone's at the door. Let me quickly get that. Right. Apologies about that. And any other questions? Which topics have we? Again, as mentioned
one
earlier,
more
this
thing.
is the first class. So yesterday we took up a demo, understanding what topics will be covered throughout the course. So I gave a brief intro on each of these topics yesterday, explaining or elaborating what all tools we'll be using, what concepts we'll be learning throughout the course. That is visible, available on YouTube, the recording for that. You can just search for DURGASOFT cybersecurity and you would get that recording as well. Okay. And today was the first topic, first class on networking fundamentals, networking basics.
Shoaib, one more thing actually, in this course, any monitoring tools like Logger or something is being included in this course, or how is it?
Yes, we will be working on tools like Wireshark and Splunk, where Wireshark is a network packet analyzer and a packet logger. And Splunk is more of a SOC tool where we learn how do you, again, monitor all of these devices in an organization, get the logs from those devices, and again, generate alerts as well. So that's included as a
So
bonus topic.
Splunk means the entire, or you are going to teach on
No,
the
that's a
monitoring part
different,
itself?
that would take a completely different track altogether. An intro on Splunk. So what does Splunk do? How do you import logs and how do you generate alerts when an attack occurs?
Okay. And apart from Splunk, like Elasticsearch or something,
No,
it's
no, 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 no. Again, that is a different course altogether, Ram. So you would have to join a SOC analysis course for that. This is more of a pen testing based course where you learn how to perform pen testing on different devices. As a bonus, we have included understanding what Splunk is. So I'll be sharing the resources for that.
So how about like, after this course, like, do we need to upgrade ourselves to the next level, or how is it like?
Definitely, I would say, but not instantly. After 1 or 2 years of work experience, you would have to upgrade yourself in one certain subdomain. So you would choose a specialization either in network security or web
So
security.
with this
Or
training, like, how many years I can show up, like, and then,
you could stop
like,
up to 2 years, I would say, not more than that. This is, as
2
mentioned,
years.
a course for people getting into cybersecurity, or again, just refreshing their topics if they have already been in cybersecurity for 1 or 2 years, not more than that. This is a
So
beginner-friendly
this is the
course.
startup, what you call the startup in the job level, is it, or
Yes,
how is it?
entry level, I would say. To get into
Entry.
cybersecurity, this is the go-to course.
Okay, okay. So, like after getting job like 1 or 2 years, we can move on to next level. That's what you mean,
Yes,
right?
other advanced courses,
So
specializations,
what
different
if,
domains.
suppose if I want to switch directly to SOC analyst, so that way, is it advisable, or how is it like?
It wouldn't be advisable because in a SOC analyst job role, you need to analyze traffic and understand what sorts of attacks are coming. So to understand those attacks, to understand those patterns, to understand these different categories of attacks on different sorts of devices, you need to learn how these attacks are being performed. So that is never taught in a SOC analysis job role. You'll only learn in SOC analysis how to install the SOC tool. You'll also learn how to generate alerts and dashboards out of it. And again, how do you respond to those alerts? But again, to verify if an alert is true or false positive, you need to have the knowledge on that attack. And that knowledge is not present in a SOC analysis course. That usually comes in a penetration testing course, something like certified ethical hacking. So people, when they get into SOC analysis, they first go with understanding these attacks, understanding the defense techniques for these attacks, and then they try to go to monitoring or analyzing job roles.
Okay, and okay, and one more thing, like, ArcSight is also included, or no? Like, for the logger part or something like
No,
that, to trace or
again, as
something.
mentioned, Frankly speaking, Rama, in any institute, even Splunk will not be included in CEH.
No. I'm just asking, like, as a
other than Splunk, you will
to
not
get an
see any
idea,
other.
because you choose in Splunk, right? So Splunk, same like Splunk, even ArcSight also will be working. I mean, it's a competitor also, like ArcSight
Definitely.
also, right?
Again, in
Yeah.
India, people are much more familiar with Splunk. Again, it's been there since a very long time and it is much more widely popular compared to
Yeah,
either
but even
Data or
licensing
ADM.
also we need to see, right? It's very
Free
expensive
for
than
60
ArcSight.
days, right? For 60
Yeah.
days, you have a free license for Splunk for the enterprise version. Or for your cloud also, there's a free limit for 60 days.
So
Whatever.
in this course, like only Splunk will be taught. I mean, given training to us, right? On the top level. That's it, right?
On the surface. Again,
Oh.
explaining what Splunk is and how do you like get an alert. So if a DOS attack occurs, how do you check for an alert or trigger an alert for the DOS by importing the network logs or so. Okay. Understanding a brief overview on what SOC tools are and how they work.
Okay. And how about certification for this? Like, is it compulsory or what? I mean, is there any
The-
to get
There is
in?
a certification with the same name of the course itself, Certified Ethical Hacker. And I wouldn't say compulsory. Some companies require certification, some companies just require, again, you showing that practical skill set by showcasing that you are well versed with these tools, which I'll be showing in the course. Tools such as Metasploit Framework, Wireshark, Nmap, Nessus, etc., etc. Okay.
Oh.
So again, most of the students, what they do is if they do land a job, the certificate sponsorship is done by the company itself. So rather than you paying it out of your pocket, I would recommend if you can land a job first. Okay. And again, if you can get it from the company, it saves you a lot of money. But if the company is giving you a condition that no, we'll only filter out people on certifications for that company, again.
So do we have any vouchers for for this certification, or we need to?
I do keep getting vouchers, Ram. So I have a few contacts. If you're planning on writing the certification, do let me know. I can provide some vouchers as well. But again, do not expect too much of a discount, maybe like 5%,
Yeah.
10%, not
Yeah.
more than that.
Okay.
Right.
And
Just
this certifications will be valid for how long? I mean, is one more thing, like to go to the next level, this entry level certification is a must, or we can go with the next level directly? Is there any limitation or prerequisites to go to next certification?
nothing as such. For some manager level, that high level of certifications, you'll have some prerequisites that you have to do these
Oh.
earlier certifications. But other than that, for entry level or for intermediate level, there are no prerequisites as such. Again, you can do
Okay.
any certification of your choice up to intermediate level. But above 5 years of experience, job roles for manager level certifications like CISA, CISSP, for that you have prerequisites. You have to show experience of 5 years in cybersecurity job role, and you have to show certain prior certifications as well in the domain. Other than that, if you're not applying for those, for any intermediate or beginner level certificate, there is no such prerequisite.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Yeah, that's all
Right.
from me.
No problem. Any other questions, guys? Clarify.
Yeah, I have a question. So I'm a developer, so I joined the cybersecurity course to understand more about security, network things and all. However, I would be able to do pen testing in my current organization as my role is totally different. So once I complete this course, basically I would like to know whether there are any portals available online through which I can, practice every now and then.
Definitely, there's a lot of CTF portals. There's a lot of websites like Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, etc., to test out your skills, Venkat. There's a lot of resources available. Testing platforms, I would say. Again, to learn these things as well, and to also again test out your skill set. Nothing as such. I'll share all those resources as we progress.
Sure, fine.
But just to list out a few, you can visit these websites. There's something called Try Hack Me. There's one more called Hack the Box also. Right? Not beginner friendly, I would say. At least Hack the Box. So you need to have some knowledge on cybersecurity to get into these and solve these challenges.
Sure, fine. Yeah.
Right. Any other questions, guys? Okay. Assuming no questions, guys. So yeah, again, please do join the session tomorrow as well. Tomorrow we'll be taking a much more complex session where we talk about these classes, where we talk about public and private IPs. And if time permits, I'll also discuss some important protocols in networking. What is DNS protocol? What is the DHCP protocol? What are some special IPs? So we'll cover all that as well in detail. Okay. Again, as mentioned, quite important for you to get into cybersecurity, having knowledge on these networking fundamentals. So we are covering that. And after that, the next session after tomorrow would be lab setup installation. How do you install a practical lab? How do you install something called virtualization softwares like VMware or VirtualBox and Kali operating system? So we'll have some practicals as well in these upcoming sessions. So please do join the demos for this week. Again, all free. But from next week, you'll have the registered link. Okay, so all the demos and this week are free. You can join on the same link every day at 7 p.m. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Thanks for joining the session today, guys, and I hopefully see you tomorrow at the same time. Bye bye.